Okay, we are recording. And
Okay.
now I'm going to go live inside the group. So hang on 1 second.
Okay.
That was quick. Oh, it looks like we are live inside of Facebook. Awesome, 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 awesome. Welcome,
Just got my
everybody.
notification.
This is a very odd time that Lisa's coming live here inside the group. Typically, we do Wednesday tips with Lisa on Wednesdays at 7 o'clock. But we're here. I've got an amazing special guest that I've got here to celebrate and share some tools and tips with all of you. So in case you guys don't know me, because we have so many new people, I am Lisa and I'm the owner of Embrace Your Journey Health and Wellness Coaching. I'm a certified life, health, and functional nutrition counselor that helps women rebalance their hormones and helps them understand the systems that are inside of them by boosting their energy and nourishing their body to support optimal health. Because when the systems are imbalanced, the symptoms do not go away. And part of those systems inside of your body is your endocrine system. And when your endocrine system is imbalanced, no matter if it's the skincare you use, the chemicals you use, if you experience a lot of stress, if you're not eating the right foods to support your body, your immune system, which is an interconnected web inside of your body, can be affected. So how do we bring homeostasis back to the body and bring balance so that you can live your best life? You can have that energy to do the things that you love. And today I have an amazing special guest here, and I'm going to introduce her in one moment. So just so you guys know, we are streaming live here in the Zoom room, and I am unable to see the comments on Facebook. So if you were here, please let us know live. And if you're going to catch the replay, let us know #replay so that I can come back in and respond, or Stacy, to the comments that are inside the group. So Stacy, welcome. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
I am so excited. I actually love the fact that I can see closed caption inside the Zoom room on Facebook, having the seeing it live. It's amazing. I've never seen that.
Oh,
Hi,
that's
Rebecca.
cool.
Thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate you being here. So Stacy, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. Could you share, actually, I'm going to share really quickly a little story on how I met Stacy. So most of you know, I was in health coaching school, and I was on a mission to go and find healthier snacks that would nourish my body for optimal support. And being the fact that I'm sensitive to gluten, I was on a mission to find some gluten alternative snacks. And locally here in Jacksonville, Florida, we had an allergy-free, gluten-free expo. And obviously this was pre-COVID. And this was back in 2018. And I went to Jacksonville, Florida to this expo. It was very busy, walked around, and there was a booth that had gluten-free skincare, paraben-free, like non-toxic. And I was like, oh my gosh, how could I learn more about this? But Stacy's booth was packed. I could not get to Stacy. All I heard her say was, hey, do you want to sign up to receive, maybe to win a raffle for a spa party with 5 of your friends? I'm like, sure, why not? So 2 or 3 weeks later, I get an email and a call from Stacy. Hey, by the way, you won the spa package. Let's get together. I didn't know anything about the product. I didn't know anything about Stacy. I was like, sure, let's do it. Stacy came to my house with 5 of my friends, and we had this amazing spa party. And here I am 3 years later, and I absolutely still use the products that Stacy's actually, she's going to talk about them a little bit, but she's actually going to more talk about chemicals and the disruptors and why chemicals are bad, what you should avoid. and what you should be using and what you should be looking out for on an ingredient label when you're shopping. So Stacy, let's introduce you.
Hey.
Where are you from?
Well, originally I'm from Cleveland, Ohio, but I was in the military and my husband's still in the military. So we travel all around. In fact, you can see this sign, maybe where's my finger here? Right there is all the places we've lived. So we've been all around the country. Now I'm currently in St. Augustine, Florida. So
Beautiful, beautiful. And you're a mom of?
I'm a mom of two. I have a lovely 14-year-old daughter and a 9.5-year-old son, and we homeschool. So it's always a busy adventure. So you may see, maybe not, I hope, I told them not to be in this Zoom, but you may see them come through or hear my dogs playing because, we're a busy work from home family.
Awesome. So Stacey, tell us how you got into skincare, and how you got into the realm and the wellness industry. What made you start?
Well, just like you, I was seeking, and I started my journey with food also. And I started learning more about, factory farming and organics and just all the different things, like the hidden ingredients that are in, our food, and like the Franken food and all of that. So, I think that was my first step. And then I started really thinking about, like, okay, good, I have a good handle on this. I was getting my food from an organic CSA. And then I started thinking about, what am I putting on my body? What am I using around my home? Because, if what I eat matters, then that has to matter too. So, and as a nurse, I knew that our largest organ is our skin. Most people think it's the liver, but really it's our skin because it covers every aspect. And what we put on our skin goes in straight to your bloodstream. Like, they actually say it's safer to eat chemicals. I'm not advocating for that, but it is safer to eat a toxic chemical because it does go through your digestive system. You have stomach acid, you have a liver that breaks things down. But when you put something on your skin, it goes straight through to the bloodstream. Eventually, yes, it makes its way to the liver, but not after it could already be getting absorbed into your body. So started thinking about that. And I'm a mom too, obviously. And I'm started thinking about, like, what am I using on my kids? And I would spend hours at night, like, researching, and I would come up short. I might find this safe product, but then the company that it was with had other toxic chemicals I didn't want to use in other products. Could not find one single company, one line of stuff that I felt like I could use. And anyway, I finally pick and choose. I had all these different companies I was ordering from, which I didn't like. I like a one-stop shopping, but that wasn't happening. And the last thing on my list I was looking for was mascara. And I saw a friend posting about stuff, and I'm like, let me just check out what it is. And she sent it to me. I asked for a catalog, and I was blown away because there is, like, I think 100 different products in there, and I could literally replace everything in my home with that catalog. And it just blew me away. So I did my research. I looked, I was super excited about what was not in them and also super excited about what was in them. So it was a total win-win for me. And that was 8 years ago. And I've been on this journey ever since. And I really am passionate about trying to help other people, just like you, Lisa. You want to help them and coach them to live their best life. And that's how I feel, like we were designed a certain way. And if we remove some of these obstacles, we truly can live fully in greater health. So
yeah, absolutely. And when you're on that journey, okay, like you've been on this 8-year journey, I've been on a 7-year journey to overcome Hashimoto's and the obstacles that I encounter from autoimmune diseases. And there's a lot of outside disruptors in the environment, not just what we put on our skin, not just what we put on our body or in our body. There's so many other environmental disruptors that can cause the systems to become imbalanced, right? Not just the food we eat, not just our exercise that we do, the lifestyles that we live, our jobs, our children, finances. anything really can affect our bodies, and especially more so in women, we actually take the brunt of it more so than men, right? Would you agree with that?
Yeah, and I mean, I think totally that everybody can be affected. And the thing to think about is, I mean, it's everywhere. It's in the water we drink, it's in the air we breathe. It is literally, we have toxins all around us between now with all the, different like Wi-Fi's and 5G and all the stuff coming through with that. I mean, there's stuff everywhere. We can't control that though. I mean, to some extent you can try to mitigate it, right? Water filters, or having different filters in your home, but it's hard to control those big things. But we are not helpless. We can control certain things, and like what we use around our home and what we put on our body, and all of that makes a huge difference. Like, it seems small, like what does it really matter what I wash my face with, or what shampoo I use? But it does. It all these little things add up,
Absolutely. Absolutely. And to add to that, there's three things that we can control. We can control our thoughts, we can
Mhm.
control our feelings, and we can control our behaviors. And
Yep.
the thought creates the feeling, and the feeling creates the behavior. So if we're choosing to use that skincare or that cleaning chemical, what is the repercussion that's going to happen in our body because we chose to use that? It's
Right.
just like the same thing when it comes to choosing, are you going to eat broccoli or are you going to eat French fries? Which choice are you going to make that's going to hurt the body, help the body, hinder the body? Or how am I going to feel when I eat one or the other? And
Right.
those are the choices that we choose to make, right? So
Right.
when it
And
comes to, go ahead.
no, and I was just going to say, it's one of those things that, obviously, if you don't know about it, you don't know. But when you do know better, you can make that choice to do better. And a lot of times people feel very overwhelmed, or like, oh my gosh, this is going to be such an expensive thing, or it's so overwhelming. I don't know where to start. And that's one of the reasons why I love what I do, because I'm here to help you. I'm here to help you make that transition and make it easy, because it doesn't have to be. I've been on this journey. I've done the homework. So it's like, I want to help other people just make it simple and easy, because I'm passionate about wanting them to live their
Sure,
very best lives as
absolutely.
well.
Absolutely. So Stacey, I'm curious, what chemicals should women avoid when it comes to skincare and household products? What would be the top? Is there five? Is there 10? What would you, knowing your zone of genius and knowing what you know about the chemicals that we use on our skin and our body, what would you feel or say would be the top five that they should avoid?
Okay. Well, first, I just want to preface this with saying, in our products today, everybody thinks that if it's on a store shelf, it must be safe. Um, so that's not true. There are 80,000 untested chemicals out there in the marketplace today that we are using. And when people create these products, like in manufacturing, they're wearing hazmat suits and respirators to make these same products that magically become safe once they're on the store shelf, that we apply all over our bodies. So it's really crazy to think about. Um, and there are they I think the statistic is, the average woman, before she even leaves the house, uses 168 toxic chemicals on her body every single day, just in stuff that you use. And think about it, it's, if you shower, it's your hair care, it's your face wash, it's your deodorant, anything else you're putting on, makeup, the body lotion, all of those things, hand wash, you know and they're not single use. Think of how many times, you're showering maybe every day, or even every other day, or you're washing your face every day, you're washing your hands repeatedly, you're in dish soap or cleaning or whatever. Like, all of these products are multiple use. So then that means multiple toxic exposures to you over time. So that's huge as well. These chemicals, we talked about the skin. Once it gets on your skin, it goes in your bloodstream. They found these toxic chemicals in babies' cord blood, which that's when the baby is still in utero, and the cord blood is between the baby and the mom. So there's no way. How could these toxic chemicals be getting into a baby's cord blood if it wasn't through the mother? So these choices really, like I said, they matter in changing up. I'll give you even my top product in a second, which I think makes the biggest difference. But every single little change that you can do matters. So I would say for the chemicals, there are the toxic chemicals. I mean, water is a chemical, but the toxic chemicals that you should avoid definitely would be phthalates, because those are like top endocrine disruptors. And a single easy way to look at that would be simply removing the word fragrance from your from your life. Things like parabens and petrolatum. I mean, there's pegs, there's glycols, there's so many. It can be overwhelming. If you start with the word fragrance, though, that is I say that's our F word in our industry, but we have to get rid of that and not use that in our life. People like things to smell good, but you can still smell good using essential oils. So I do have a handy little guide that is on my website as well, but I'm just going to show you. And it talks about the top. You're not going to read this, obviously, but just to show you, it shows you all the different chemicals to avoid and then why it's harmful here. And I have that available on my website. You can sign up to get that in a PDF form and print out for yourself if you want to know more specifically. But the problem is that those a lot of products nowadays say we're paraben free, we're fragrance free, we're this, that, and the other. But when you take the product and flip it around, so it sounds like it's great and clean, and a lot of people think they're making the great choice, and it's 3 times more expensive than the toxic counterpart next to it on the shelf. But when you flip that bottle over and you actually read the ingredient list, there are still toxic chemicals in there. And a lot of times it's through the preservative system, because they try to make their product last longer and it's cheaper and they want to make it last. So anyway, so it really behooves us to learn, not just look at the front, but to look at what ingredients are actually in what we're using. I can't tell you how many times people come to me and say, oh, I'm using clean skincare. And you want to look at the ingredients? And then I'm like, yeah, this is still filled with toxins. So this little sheet right here, like I said, that's available on my website, purelytoxicfree.com. You go there, there's a sign up it's a big pop up with the ingredients to avoid, and you can sign up and grab that so you can see for yourself what exactly.
You said purelytoxicfree.com?
Yes.
Is your website?
Yeah.
Okay. So my question to you, based on that PDF that you have, is it recommended that when people print it out and become familiar with the name, and on that PDF, does it have the name and what that chemical is or does within the body? Or is it just the name and the description of that chemical? I'm just curious.
Right. No, it talks about, like parabens, for example, they're endocrine disruptors, which means they mimic estrogen. So you think about people with like breast cancer or allergic reactions, and the problem, okay, so say take parabens. They're implicated in causing breast cancer. And then also what they do.
Oh no.
Is, if you've had breast cancer and you're on tamoxifen, it can decrease the effectiveness of tamoxifen. So it's like a 1-2 punch, right? Like it's causing the cancer to begin with, and then you're taking this tamoxifen after you survive your treatment and whatever to help yourself live longer. And now it's decreasing the effectiveness of the tamoxifen. Parabens go by many, many names: butylparaben, methylparaben, polyparaben. I mean, they're all over. So it's really important. And yes, so it does talk about and these are all from studies. This is not made up. This is not some mumbo jumbo. Like, these are all from sourced studies. A lot of them are carcinogens.
Is paraben the number one ingredient that you should avoid?
I like to say fragrance because fragrance, again, hides, it's a generic term that can hide hundreds of toxic chemicals in there, and they don't have to disclose them to you. So think in terms of people who have allergies or asthma or other things. When you use something with the word fragrance, you don't know what you're using. You're kind of playing roulette, with
Yeah.
yourself. And those phthalates are also endocrine disruptors. And then parabens are endocrine disruptors. Most of them are either carcinogenic, which means it causes cancer, or or it impacts your endocrine system. So your hormones are just can be all out of whack.
Sure. And when it disrupts the endocrine system, what are some of the, from your understanding, what are some of the signs or some of the symptoms that one might experience when we're disrupting the system from a chemical perspective or a skincare perspective? That's a two-part question. So that would be the first part of the question.
Well, I think the biggest thing that I think of would be infertility for women. A lot of people don't think about this. I think, cancers or, different skin cancers, I mean, which is cancer. But I think like when we talked about homeostasis before, when our systems are out of whack and we're not functioning as we were designed, everything gets screwy. A lot of times women come to like this journey because they find out they can't have kids or they have repeated miscarriages. Maybe they're having like a hormonal headaches, maybe early menopause, so anything that hormones impact, which is basically everything in your body.
Inflammation, bloat, fatigue, hot flashes, night sweats, acne, irritability, no motivation, lack of energy. Those are all signs of different symptoms of hormonal imbalances.
Right.
But I'm curious though, when someone uses parabens or fake fragrances within, just say laundry detergent as an example, because there's fake fragrances in laundry detergent.
Fragrances in everything, even fragrance-free products.
Sure, totally, because fragrance free, there's still something hidden in there.
Right.
My question would be is, what what might they experience? Would they break out in hives? Would they have rashes? Could they experience some of those symptoms when it comes to the fragrance in the body?
Absolutely. A lot of times sometimes it might be unseen, but it's really being impacted. So you have, like I said, the infertility or headaches or something. You may not know that that's what's doing it until you remove it from your life. And then you're like, oh, it could be if you have asthma and allergies, right? Like those are a lot of times like very abrasive to your lungs. For example, I know somebody who was making her own laundry detergent using borax and thought it was clean. Her kids had asthma. They were on 4 different inhalers each. And she switched her laundry detergent, and the kids stopped coughing at night and they were able to get off the inhalers. Who thinks about laundry detergent like that, right? But think of when you're sleeping, how close you are to your pillow and you're wearing clothes or something or on sheets like 100% of the time, right? So you're really impacted by laundry detergent. Who knew?
Sure,
Eczema,
absolutely.
psoriasis, like these are huge things to consider. Hives is always absolutely, you can break out in hives. There's another chemical called I am not going to be able to pronounce it. It's like methylthiazolone. I butchered it, but it's MI is the thing it's short for. And it's in a lot of things too. And that was a couple of years ago, it was the allergen of the year. Probably not an award that you want to win, but it was allergen of the year. And again, that can be really damaging. People were getting rashes all over their hands. They were, having asthma flares. So all of these types of things can impact you respiratory. It can impact your skin. It can impact you, like I said, in more of the unseen ways, like the infertility or whatever, because you may not attribute it to toxic chemicals in your personal care products. Because again, who thinks about shampoo causing cancer?
Right, absolutely.
Or, or your face wash impacting your fertility, right? Like no one thinks about that. But, making those changes does matter.
Yeah, absolutely. So my next question to you would be is, if somebody is on a budget and they are looking to make better choices within a detergent or chemicals that they're using on the surface in their kitchen, or cleaning supplies. And again, we look at affordability. If somebody isn't able to afford a higher dollar, is there any product that you could suggest that, besides in the Pure Haven family, um, that somebody could be safe with? Do you have a list of products that you feel are safer for someone to use that might be within that budget, for on that budget?
Yeah. I personally, in my house, we obviously use all Pure Haven because I have found it to be the safest full line. It's 100% toxin free. They proudly claim that on their label. So that's what we use. But obviously, there's safer alternatives, like vinegar. Vinegar is a great thing for cleaning, so but as far as that goes, I know there's several different things. I'd have to look at each individual product. Sometimes it's just going back to basics with baking soda, vinegar, peroxide, like what your grandmothers probably used. You know what I mean? I, I used to DIY. I was making my laundry detergent. I was doing everything. But then, as we started our homeschool journey, something had to give, and I just didn't want to be crafting products in my kitchen anymore.
Yeah, for sure.
So
Absolutely. I mean, I know that, at the grocery store or even in a natural market, I mean, I know that seventh generation is a good, another alternative. But what I hear most inside, with my clients and my audience and people inside, the Hormones and More for Women Facebook group, people are looking for alternatives, but they're not sure, well, what is good or what is bad. And Rebecca asked a question:
uh-huh.
what would be a recommendation for a natural deodorant that actually works? Because I know there's some different types out there. She uses a clinical strength secret and would like to change it, but she winds up smelly with a few natural ones that she's tried that are aluminum free. What would you say? And I think Pure Haven has baking soda and non-baking soda deodorant. Um, in your area, what have you found works the best when it comes to switching to a natural deodorant and moving away from the big conglomerate companies?
Yeah. Well, so when I mentioned earlier about the single best way, I just want to quickly show this graphic and then I'm going to come to, if I get sidetracked, but please remind me. Sometimes that happens. I have lots of thoughts. We're talking about the endocrine system, and it's super important to even think about it. Obviously, we're all women of a certain age, right? But you have to consider babies, right, who are growing so rapidly. That endocrine system is in their full throttle. These kids are, I mean, think of a tiny baby and what they look like by a 1 year old. Now, through their whole life, through puberty, and then you have the childbearing years, and now you have middle age, and then it's like even as you get older, like this is a topic for everybody, right? Like it's not just for us as we're getting older. It's not, this is important.
Yeah.
And when we were talking about the toxic onslaught and like all of our different exposures and all the products that you're using, plus what is happening in and around us, I just want to show this. You're not going to be able to read the words, but you can see this is like a graphic of, just of our exposures. And you can see by the thermal, like we have this just all, and it's building up, and what they call the toxic body burden. And so deodorant is, if people ask me what is one product that I can switch to that would make a difference, my answer is always deodorant. Okay. Why? Because what you put in your armpits is almost 100% absorbed into your body. Obviously your skin absorbs, but like there's different ratio, like scalp and here is different, but anything either in your groin or in your armpits are absorbed almost 100% of what you put there. most deodorants contain parabens, they contain fragrance, and they contain aluminum. And all of those are toxic. Aluminum is a neurotoxin, and it's a heavy metal, and it lodges in your organs, like your brain. And that's why it's connected with like dementia and Alzheimer's and all of these things. Um, and then parabens, we talked about already, with like being linked to breast cancer. Most breast cancers are found in the underarm region, and it's directly related to deodorant. However, why are we only hearing about this when you get breast cancer? Does the doctor say you need to switch to a toxin free? Like, it's so important. And we already talked about why fragrance is such a bad thing, because there's hundreds of chemicals hiding under that one word that you have no idea what you're even putting there then.
Sure.
So deodorant is absolutely 100% so important. So there are many different types. There is baking soda, non-baking soda. A lot of times people find out using baking soda that they can be sensitive to it and they get rashy. So that's why non-baking soda is nice. There's a lot now I've seen with charcoal. There's a lot I've seen with magnesium. So these are really innovative things. I would have to look at each product individually, or you would have to take it back to this. They're getting clever on those deodorants though, because they know more people are starting to read labels. And so they're using different words for aluminum, but aluminum is aluminum is aluminum. So, it's really important to remove that. How do you transition from using, a conventional deodorant to a toxin-free one? You're going to have to give it some time. Your body, the aluminum, what it does is it blocks up your sweat glands, and then your body works really hard to, get over that. And so, because our bodies are designed to sweat, that's how we remove waste. So when you're blocking that up, you're going to have stuff that's been clogged up in your lymph system and in all of the tissues that needs to come out. So you're going to stink for a while. Sometimes people don't have this, but if you do, there are things you can do, like doing a charcoal mask under your armpits. It sounds so crazy, people, but like I'm telling you, it works. You just we sell a charcoal face mask, but using anything with like bentonite clay or activated charcoal, it helps pull all those toxins out of those tissues and lymph nodes. And you just basically mask your armpits and kind of hang out on the couch for a while. So doing that regularly, and then just if you can plan a time when you can kind of get away with maybe having I didn't really have too bad of a transition. So some people do, some people don't, just depending on what is, being carried in your body. And I honestly, right now, even though we have two amazing deodorants at Pure Haven, I'm using our Dream Cream, which is like, we use it for skin problems, or it's also the same formula as our baby diaper cream, but it double duties for me as a deodorant. So I can just put that there as well. And you don't have to smell bad. It will get better, I promise. But usually it can be a 2-week to a month process. So don't let that stop you. Don't let that scare you. I told you it's so, so important. Please, ladies, if you can do anything, switch that deodorant.
Thank you. That's a great point. Just like, over time, as you transition away from that deodorant into something that's toxic free, just like any habit, it takes time. When you're reducing caffeine and coming off of the caffeine high, or you're reducing sugar and minimizing the sugar in your body, it takes time to go through that detoxification process. It's the same thing when you're switching your skincare or the chemicals in your home. Your body has to let it all out, and it's going to come out. It's your skin, because your skin is your first line of defense.
Yep. And so you might see a lot of times, like, we have an amazing skincare line. It has pre and probiotics in it, and it's so awesome. It like literally feeds your skin, nourishing things. It's not just safe or free of toxins. It's full of organic botanicals and, like I said, the pre and probiotics, which protects your whole microbiome and helps your immunity. So it's really great. But even that transition too, you can have different breakouts or whatever. I started a new probiotic a couple weeks ago. Same thing. I started breaking out because, just different things are coming out from the gut through the skin. That's where it's going to come. But I know that. And so I can kind of just say like, this is going to get better. I know it will, So yeah, there is a transition, and that's okay. It doesn't mean it's not working. Obviously, if you have an allergic reaction, that's a different story. But if you're having some breakouts or whatever, that's usually your detox period and it ends, doesn't.
So I want to just share a really quick story here. When I met Stacy, and when Stacy came to my house for the spa party, and we learned all about Pure Haven and the products, I was using a pretty healthy skincare system that was plant-based. It was not tested on animals. But I learned more about the fragrance than anything in my entire lesson on skincare. But I used to have skin tags on my eyes and under my eyes from my immune system. And my eyes were so bad, full of bumps all around the top and on the bottom underneath my eyes. And I kept saying to Stacy, what do we have that we could try that could be missing from my regimen that would be helpful to reduce the skin tag? Well, at the time, they didn't have the eye cream with the prebiotic in there. And when they reformulated and added the prebiotics into the skincare system, I started using the eye cream, not alone just under my eye. I actually use the eye cream on top of my eye. Every blessed bump and skin tag cleared up, because I was on the verge of going to the dermatologist to have them removed because they were getting bigger, they were red, they were inflamed. And I kept sending Stacy pictures, this is getting worse. And as soon as we started the eye cream, below and above completely changed. And I was taking pictures to show her. So if you're unsure or you're not sure, and you would like to take a deep dive further in learning more about Pure Haven or toxic-free skincare, I invite you into having a conversation with Stacy or reaching out to Stacy to really talk about you and your body, because everybody is unique. Every single thing matters that you put in your body, that you put on your body, and the things that you have in your home. And another endocrine disruptor that I believe Stacy may not have really touched on is the fragrance piece in candles, or the fragrance piece that you use for plugins that you might have around your house. Believe it or not, they are endocrine disruptors. So if you
Well, that
like
fragrance, when I say fragrance, I mean all of that. So it's not just what's in your personal care products, it's what you're breathing in around you. It's in the spray sunscreens. I mean, I feel like I get poisoned at the beach, down here in Florida with those, because there's so many toxins in there. Sunscreen's a whole other issue. So yeah, that fragrance, yes, the plugins, those hangy pine tree things that people hang up or whatever. If it's not, and the wax matters, the wick matters, all of that. So yes, I see we've been on for a while, but thank you, Lisa. If anybody is interested in talking more with me, you can find out more information on my website. I do offer, I have other, I rep other lines as well, like full makeup lines and other things, because that is what I consider myself to be a wellness concierge. So I can connect you to the things that you're looking for. If you need customized concierge services, please reach out. If you're interested in learning more about Pure Haven, I have an event going on this week. I'd be happy to add you to. So there's many different things. I have a blog and a podcast. So feel free to reach out and follow me. I'd love to chat more. I'd love to help you get to that point.
Sure, because it's so important when even more so for women, as we do go through this transitional phase of life, this next phase, and things start to change in our inside of our bodies, things start to change on our bodies, things start to change around our body. And women, anxiety sets in or depression sets in because I'm changing and things look different or things feel different. And if there was couple things that you could do to enhance the well-being of your life: skincare, would be a top choice in addition to the food choices that you make. You know, when it comes to functional nutrition, we focus on 5 key areas of our life. And skincare and reducing the endocrine disruptors is a huge part of how we live and how we feel. And if we can reduce something to help us feel better, even if it's reducing what we put on our face, or even if over time you change one thing at a time, we're not saying go clear out your pantry and throw everything away. When you finish it, replace it with something that might be healthier or a better option. If you are interested in exploring that deodorant, when you finish what you have, don't waste it. Finish it and then swap it out with something that.
Actually, I don't recommend that for deodorant or any personal care product. Don't finish it. Take it back to the store and tell them why you're returning it. Tell them you don't want to buy products with toxic chemicals in them. And you can bring a copy of this and show them, I don't want this. And we've had people do that and get refunds or even store credit. So even if you bought it from Target, you need toilet paper. You need, you know what I mean? You can go buy other things. I mean, I know people always like to finish up what they have, but then I feel like, then you're still knowingly putting those toxins on yourself. So return it, get some store credit, and use that to make a different choice for yourself. Because again, the skincare, it smells good, it feels good. You can have a little mini spa day every day when you wash your face, and it just uplifts my whole being when I'm taking care of myself and inside and out. So. And
Yeah,
again,
for
I'm
sure.
happy to meet everyone where they are on this wellness journey. We're all in different places. So I'm happy to meet you where you are, work with you with your needs and your budget to like help you make choices that make sense for you and
To
your
propel you
family.
forward. Yeah, absolutely. Ladies, I hope that what Stacy shared with you today at least was some eye openers for you, or light bulbs going off inside your mind of, oh, maybe I do need to look at what I'm using. Maybe I do need to read the ingredient label. Maybe I do need to print the toxic ingredients that are harmful to our bodies, not just our bodies, but maybe our children, maybe our middle school age children, people that have children, even to us as adults, and even, over the age of 50. It's everything matters. And if there was one thing, Stacy, that you could share with the group to have them a takeaway or walk away with something, what would that be, Stacy?
Honestly, just sort of what I've been saying, every small step that you take adds up big. So it may not seem like a big deal to switch out your face wash or change your snack habits, but all those little things, like, we're never going to be perfect, but don't let that be the enemy of good. So you can make these changes, and maybe it's not everything at once, but start somewhere. Just start, make a little change here, and then again, all those little things add up exponentially over time until then, you can expand further as you go along. And we're here to help you.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you. That was a great takeaway, Stacy. And for the rest of you ladies that were not able to join us live and you are going to catch the replay, just let us know that you caught the replay. And if you do have any questions, I'm going to come back and put Stacy's information into the comment section, so that if you would like to schedule a call with her and learn more about Pure Haven, or even learn more about the chemicals, from anywhere from skincare to the chemicals you use in your home, and learn more about fragrances and have a one-on-one with Stacy, absolutely, I encourage you to join her group. I encourage you to sign up for her newsletter, and I encourage you to just stay in touch with her. She's a wealth of knowledge. Not just is she a nurse, but she also is a mama, and she also has her own business. She's an entrepreneur, and she's creating this company that she's building to just educate the public about all things health and wellness, because we all desire to be healthy and live our best life. And I thank you for each and every one of you for being here. And don't forget, tomorrow night is Wednesday night, and I will be coming back on live at 7 p.m. And I'm going to be sharing a way for us to get to know each other a little bit better in our tools and tips on 7 p.m. tomorrow night, Eastern Standard Time, inside the Facebook group. I hope you ladies have an amazing rest of your Tuesday. Stacy, I appreciate you being here. Thank you for your time and your energy. I'm grateful for you. And ladies, I hope you guys have a fantastic day.
Thank you. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, everyone.